So I'm assuming it's clear now, so that's good news. If you don't know, we had an earthquake this morning at 5.5. I didn't even have internet 30 minutes ago. Rattled the cages here, unbelievable this morning. But yeah, so, Rob, I don't think anybody heard you, so you get to practice, and now you get to really say what you wanted to second time, because the world is listening now.
Okay, all right. Well, I said everybody's been talking about the downside of what the COVID-19 is doing, how it's hurting, and everything that's bad about it. And I thought that I would think about, what's the upside? What has happened to me in a good way as a result of this? How can I find something good out of this, right? Because I believe out of every adversity lies the seeds of an equal or greater benefit. And I know that it's just a matter of time. So anyway, what I'm finding is there's a business side and a personal side to the upside of the COVID-19. On the business side, agents and brokers are much more open, like never before, to hear an option of where it can go. The message that we've been putting out that eXp is the safe haven for real estate agents and brokers is beginning to get out there. We're actually getting phone calls from people as opposed to going to find them. And people are much more open to listening and to seeing what we've got. Just like when I tell a lot of people tell me, I know all about that eXp stuff. And it's really, I said, really? Well, tell me about, the bonus on the 7th level. Tell me about the stock acquisition program. And they can't. And I said, well, have you ever actually seen the video? Like Brent used to say, have you really seen the video? And most of them have not. They really don't know what we're all about. And for the first time, they are really open to seeing, the whole thing, to seeing what it's all about, and seeing our menu. Now, on a personal side, I found that it's really made a major difference to me. And interestingly enough, this being locked up, I'm much more concerned about being safe and secure. I feel better about being safe and secure. I'm working out more now than I have ever done. I used to think doing things twice a week was a big deal. Now I'm pretty much doing, workout and physical things every day. I keep getting lots of emails and texts about, my push-up count's really funny. That I'm up to 45 push-ups at a whack 4 times a day. That's 180 push-ups a day. That's over 5,000 a month. I feel really great for it. I'm eating better for sure because we're planning our meals. And so Jen has just been amazing. And she and I trade off duties in the kitchen. It's really fun. We have had long, great conversations that before I was always working. And now we have plenty of time to talk, which is really excellent. And Jen loves to talk. And I'm enjoying those conversations with her. She's laughing over here. Yeah, I love to talk. I'm getting much better sleep. I'm getting more sleep than before. I think I'm getting better sleep. I'm actually keeping track of the sleep I get. I'm certainly catching up on reading. Jen's doing continuing education classes. I'm having conversations with my daughter now a couple of times a week, where it used to be, it was fortunate to have it once or twice a month. And I'm certainly I'm much more open to appreciating what we have today and what we can look forward to. So I would say, literally, from my perspective, interestingly enough, I know the economy is doing all different things, but I'm seeing everything better. I mean, it really is. I see a better opportunity, a better future. I feel better. I'm physically better. I feel a lot healthier. I'm trying to do that, obviously, to increase my immune system. I should probably be doing that all the time. I'm finally treating my body like if we only got issued one car in our entire life. How good would you take care of it? Or would you treat it like the car you have now if you only had one? So I have to say, the COVID-19 has been very good for me in a weird way, but I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to the future and what's happening, and thank you for letting me start off.
That's awesome. I think this is a great time for everyone to restart. If you don't like the results you were producing prior to this, now you have an opportunity to really evaluate where you were spending your time, because God knows you're not going to the movies now. You're not hanging out in the bar, right? You're spending family. You're right. So
I don't remember hanging out in the bar. It's been long ago for me.
At all. I'm just saying that some people are doing that. I know this guy's not doing it because he's been building a massive team. Brent Gove, I love what you bring to the table every week. I love how your team is growing nationally. And you've always just got such an amazing attitude. How you stay so positive through all of this just baffles me. I think I'm positive but I watch you and I'm like blown away, man. I love your energy every time. And what are you doing to keep that ever ready battery just every day, man? What do you do when you wake up in the morning?
Man, first thing is have a plan. I'm hard charging. I'm up at 6:30, 6:15, got up at 5:15 a.m. yesterday and went golfing. They opened golf in Placer County. They got it right. They know golf is an essential activity. Otherwise, we will go crazy. We'll lose our minds. And mental health is real. And so for those of us who are golfers, I'm like, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas morning. Sorry, a little tickle there.
Take a drink. I'm going through a draw.
Dry cough, is it, Brent? Not dry.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, not golfing will drive a man to go to a bar, right? Not golf. So don't ask Stroop who won. Don't ask him. I would never bring that up on a national platform. But we had so much fun yesterday. But I tell you what, we have a plan, man. I get up every day and go, what should I do today? I'm not a wandering generality, as Zig Ziglar says. I'm a meaningful specific. You guys need to be a meaningful specific. You got to have a plan. No one can stop a woman with a plan or a man with a plan because no one has a plan to stop them. What's your plan? What are you going to execute on? I was listening to you, Rob. I'm like, golly. Of course, Rob is and Gene are Scott are three of the most successful people in our company. And I'm just a little squirrel looking for some cheese. Although I guess squirrels don't look for cheese. Okay, I'm a mouse. Okay, I'm a big mouse. I'm not a little mouse looking for cheese. I'm a big mouse. A 6'2", way more than I should probably. And I think I'm up to 3 push-ups a day, Rob, so I need to work on that. But here's the deal. Man, I have never been so busy. I'm doing like 10, 15 Zooms a day. We're selling homes. By the way, sales April 2019 compared to April 2020 when we were cuffed, when we were on lockdown, are only off 4% from last year. 4%. Somehow we sold homes in Sacramento, California, which is where I am. Rob and Scott are out in the Caribbean. They had the earthquake. In case you're wondering where the earthquake, it was in the Caribbean. Gene left there 2 days ago because he's smart, and he's at his lake house. He's at his lake house in Texas, where everything's better. I've heard about this mythical lake house. I didn't even think it was real, but I can see it tonight. He's at his lake house. I heard he was on his yeah. He was on his boat yesterday going crazy. I heard all about that from Stroop.
I think he was really humming a boat.
That's the best boat you want to have, a friend with a boat, I can tell you.
I know, but he's 4 states away. I need a friend with a boat here. So I'm tired of my little inner tubes I'm floating around on.
So I'm starting out day one right now with eXp, Brent. Today's my first day. What should I do?
Man, make a list of names, 100 names. You know what's funny you say that? This morning, and I won't read you the whole thing, I'll spare you. I got so fired up this morning. Let's see, And then this morning I created 4 simple steps to success at eXp. There it is. Make a list of 100 names. Number 2, call and ask them their opinion about the model, not eXp, keep it company neutral. Number 3, have them watch whichever webinar you like to show them. I like the modelexplain.com. And then call your best friend in real estate or the person who's been talking to you and ask them more. And simply number 4, get them on a Zoom with your sponsor, your partner, your business partners here at eXp, have them come. But I just want to say this pandemic, oh man, the pandemic got you down. That's your choice. Like Gene always says, do not participate in the recession of the moment. There was one in the late 70s. There was one in the late 80s that went all the way into the 90s, mid 90s. There was the big correction in 2008, 9, 10, 11. There's always something big. This may end up being a big thing, but there are people who thrive and prosper in all of them. It's a mindset. I am working twice as hard. I get home and jump in the pool and get in the spa with my kids and connect with them like 6 or 7 at night, but I am burning it up. And I know every one of you, I know your stories. We're talking to superstar agents from all brokerages that are coming out. I've never seen it hit like this. Independents, I got a commitment from 188 agent independent in Southern California yesterday. 40, 80, 20 agents at a time. Star agents from big franchises. I won't name the names, but they have teams 6, 10, 15, 20, US, Canada, the UK, Australia. It is insane. The growth is crazy, but you kind of you're going to be up or you're going to be down, or you're going to be up or you're going to be down. It is your decision. Decide You're going to make it happen, then back it up with action. And I'll tell you, it's incredible. That's all I got to say. I'll leave it at that. Get your head right and do it.
Get your head right. You know, the guy that I know that has his head right, he used to be called the legend. He's no longer the legend. He is now the Texas legend. What are you doing, man?
Oh, well, thank you, guys. Thank you. You know, I woke up this morning thinking this. I miss you, Scott. Nope. Let me see. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Now we get
Now you can. If you can hear me, let me know. If not, if I freeze. Okay. Write this down, everybody. No regrets. Just write it down. 6 weeks ago, we had so much fear and uncertainty. Think about it. 6 weeks ago, we were frozen. Are we going to have 2 million deaths, 1 million deaths? How many people are going to die in the world? 6 weeks gone by, and now all of a sudden 30 states are open, right? The other 20 are going to come on in a month. What I want you to, uncertainty brings on fear. Right now, uncertainty is kind of over. We've got to peak that. So what I'm feeling is no regrets. People are going to buy homes. Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to go, you know what? This has caused me to reflect. I'm going to go buy that second home in Sacramento, in Tahoe, I've always wanted. It better, Brent, right? I'm out at my lake house, which with the lake house is a second home community. What I found after talking to people here for 2 days, it's booming here. It's booming in the second home market. Why? Because people are going, I'm not going to miss out again. If I have to be quarantined for doggone 6 or 7 weeks, I'm going to have a lake home to go to. It's really weird. So I want you guys to do this. I've heard this more times. I'm going to move closer to my kids. Not going to have any regrets. I'm going to go get that second home I've always wanted. You know what? I'm going to live where I doggone well want to live. No regrets. How many times have you said that in your life, right? How many times have you said, man, why am I living here? Right? Rob and I talked about this a few years ago. Why am I here? And he said, well, all of a sudden he went to a coach and the coach said, why are you living here? He goes, well, I want to live here. And he goes, well, why don't you move there? So Rob got up and what? Moved. No regrets. No regrets is my theme for the day. I think we're going to boom. Brent, I'm with you on this one now, baby. I am with you on this one because what's going to happen in the third and fourth quarter, hey, I'm all about my Brent V, is I think it's going to be different. Interest rates are low. We're going to have to deal with 30 million people unemployed. It's going to happen. And my second thought for the day is remember Wayne Gretzky. What did he say? Why was he the best hockey player of all time? Right?
Skate where the puck was going.
Right, Brent? Skate where the puck's going to go. So, guys, if there's going to be BPOs to do for realtors, do them. If there's going to be foreclosures and short sales in your area, go there. The market's going to be there for you to sell homes. So, no regrets, my friend. And the 2 guys we have on today, I guarantee you they have no regrets from coming to eXp. By the way, this is my 5-year anniversary. And Rob, 5 years ago is when I made the jump to eXp. 5 years ago. And a month later, I get to meet you at my lake house out here, right out here. And you know what's funny is all of us on this call, all of you guys that I get to work with on a daily basis, we don't have any regrets, right?
That's true.
There's no regrets. So guys, get over it. But you know how many people, Rob, I've talked to in the last 5 years that said, Gene, I wish I would have come 5 years ago when you did. I said, why are you regretting it now? Just come now. Don't regret not doing something. Do it now. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Scotty. Can't hear Scott there.
Differently. I think a lot of people are looking at how they impact people differently. And I know these 2 gentlemen that we're about to bring on as guests definitely have impacted not hundreds, but thousands of lives in the last 3 and 4 years. And, I couldn't be more excited to have these guys on the show today. So I'm going to see if I can let technology work for us and bring them in here. See what happens. All right, I can see them. Now the question is, can they unmute their mics and can they be heard?
Jay's got to unmute his mic.
There we go.
All right.
You hear me?
Welcome to Built for This, guys. We're excited to have both of you on here today. And, like we said, when you guys, I remember when both of you came onto the scene at eXp, like it was yesterday. And, time flies. I mean, it's crazy how fast this has happened. But, we just keep connecting around the country and around the world. And, one of these days we'll get back together again so we can party by the pool again. But how you guys doing?
Awesome.
Couldn't be better.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to start with you, Jay. I read a post that you put on Facebook last week, man. It inspired the heck out of me, and I think it's true. There's all these misconceptions about what we're doing. People think we're crazy, we're nuts, we're drinking something, whatever. But then all of a sudden they see it. I think you're the guy that said once they see it, they can't unsee it. And that has probably been the number one saying at eXp, or maybe it's Gene's having more fun again. But between the two, it's been a fun ride. Welcome to the show. What do you have to share with our audience today?
I want to echo, first of all, I want to thank all of you guys, because if it hadn't been for the work you guys did, this opportunity wouldn't be where it is and what it is today. So I'm just grateful for all of you, grateful to be in business with all of you, be your business partners, and to get to look up to your leadership to help grow this great company. So thank you for that. But yeah, what you see, you can't unsee it. I mean, everybody's heard of it, but nobody's really looked at it, right? Like every day I talk to somebody that thinks they understand the business model, but they haven't done their own investigative work to really truly understand the business model. And it's incredible the number of really intelligent people that have just not taken the time to truly get educated and informed about what this business model is and why it's growing so fast. Like, how can you be so busy doing it to not take a step back to look at, is there a better way? It's crazy. And so hopefully, I want to shake you, if that's you right now, and say, listen, this is the biggest opportunity you've ever seen in your life, and you need to understand it. You need to take action, massive action towards this opportunity, and you won't regret it. You definitely won't regret it.
That's beautiful. I know you took massive action. I also know this other guy with this Pat Hayes takes massive action every day, and I see him, all over Facebook, and I know he's doing events all over the country. How you doing, Pat?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
We're wonderful, man. It's exciting to have you here. So, I've got a question for Pat Hayes. I know somebody has a great question for Pat. Gene, why don't you do the honor of asking Pat a great question, because I know you've got.
Well, I think Pat, let's think back on it. And I want to go backwards. You called me 4 years ago and said, do you mind coming to San Antonio Christmas Eve? Think of this, everybody. Christmas Eve day. I've got 6 people that want to hear about eXp. Now you think about that, Pat. All 6 showed up.
Yep.
I want to ask you, you were only with the company like 3 weeks when you did this.
That's right. Yep. And first off, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for having me, and thank you for everything that you guys are doing, and thanks for your leadership. And Gene, if it wasn't for you, really none of us would be here right now. And and Scott, thank you for giving me that life-changing phone call 53 months ago. I still count it by the months. 53 months ago, Scott Lewis gave me that life-changing phone call to take a look at a new business model that was disrupting the real estate industry and also changing the way that agents were getting compensated. So I said, absolutely, I'll take a look at it. And I had a meeting with Scott and Rob and Gene that next day, and I saw the model, and I still have my piece of paper that Gene wrote all of his notes on, and I still have that still to this day. And I said, this is no brainer. I'm all in. And I literally moved my small sales team over. And then about 2 weeks later, I had a bunch of agents wanting to know what I did. Where did I go? What is eXp? And I said, Gene, Scott had just gone out of town. I said, Gene, I need your help. Can you come to San Antonio? I've got 6 agents ready to interview right now. And it was the day before Christmas Eve, and he came on Christmas Eve, and we sat down there at the coffee shop there at the lawn,
in San Antonio and had 6 interviews, and all 6 of them signed up, and they're all still here.
Wow, that's a great story. Pat, I'm dying to ask you a question, Pat. That is awesome. First of all, it wasn't Eve, it was during the day, right?
It was an early morning, yeah, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock was our first.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You guys always freak me out when I know it's called Christmas Eve, but it was during the day. I just wanted to make that. I think you guys are on like at evening time when you should be with your family. So number 2, I know you got a ton of kids. I don't know how you're keeping them quiet. I see your family room behind you. You must have them tied up in the back of the house or something. But I think the point I'd like to make with you, Pat, with everybody watching, a lot of people think, well, I have to have owned a franchise or be a major player to make it eXp. You work for a boutique company, an independent, and it was just you and a handful of agents. What, 1, 2, 3, 4 agents, something like that.
Yep.
And you guys weren't selling, hundreds and hundreds of millions. You were just a kind of a normal agent with a few buyers agents. You came over. Fast forward today, you've rolled that into 2,000 plus in your sales organ. How big is your sales organization today?
So a little bit about my experience in real estate. Been selling real estate in San Antonio here for about 7 years, and I started at that boutique brokerage firm. And my first year, I did about 3.2 million in production. Wanted to start a real estate sales team, so I grew my team. Started the Pat Hayes Group. Our second year, we did 12.5 million in production. And then that's whenever Scott Lewis gave me that life-changing phone call just 2 years into my real estate sales career. And I saw the model, and I knew it was a no-brainer. No regrets, just like what Gene said, no regrets. I saw the model. I said, hey, let's do this. So fast forward, I've got a team of over 2,400 agents. We did over 900 transactions last month, of the month of April. Myself, personally, in my small sales team, we closed over $2 million in production last week here in San Antonio. I mean, we are crazy busy. This is unbelievable. And a lot of agents are in freak out mode right now. We are slammed. I did 13 Zoom calls with my agents last Monday alone. 13 Zoom calls last Monday alone showing the eXp model to agents. We are blowing up. Just brought over one of the largest Century 21 agents in San Antonio 2 weeks ago. Just brought on a huge Redfin agent down in Corpus Christi, Texas last week. I mean, we are exploding. We're having a lot of fun. And thank you guys so much for letting us have this fun, because I'm having the time of my life.
Talk about an expansion model. How many states are you in?
Yeah, so I'm in 46 states, 5 Canadian provinces, and Australia.
It's so cool, man. And for those people that are watching, you've been doing something for 55 or 56 months. How big has your deal grown? And it's not that you're a bad person or anything. It's that your model has attracted so much. Some of you have gone backwards in 56 months. Some of you have added 100, maybe even 200, which would be great success in 56 months. This guy has added 2,400. And he's a good-looking guy, obviously, but I don't think it's that. I don't know if it's the model. But he didn't have this big social media following like Mr. Kinder here. Jay's going to tell a story in a minute. He's just a normal guy, 1.5 years, 2 years into his career, didn't know all these agents, and he's killing it. So you could sell yourself on why eXp won't work for you, or you could join us, and every single person on the screen will work with you to help you build a huge organization, because we are taking over the world. It's huge.
That's right. It's just like what I say, guys. Hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I had 2 years of real estate sales experience, 2 years. And now I've grown a team of over 2,400 agents, selling over 900 homes last month alone. And so, guys, just like what Kinder says, hey, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Just like what Gino says, hey, you know what? eXp is making real estate fun again. We're having so much fun. I see everybody on social media. I get text messages from Kinder all the time. We go back and forth. Oh my God, hey, check out this. We're having so much fun. And you know what, guys? This is just the beginning. We're in the garage floor of eXp still.
900 during the pandemic. I want to make that little clarity point there. Jay,
What's up?
tell us about you. How long have you been in real estate? What's your story?
Man, I've been in real estate forever. Yeah, I've been in real estate forever. I'm on my 3rd decade in real estate now. So 23 years in the business. Was Coldwell Banker. 19 years old, got into real estate, and didn't know what I didn't know. I just know that the guy that I saw get a $5,000 check, he wasn't sweating that day. I was mowing yards, and I was getting a $400 check, and I saw the commission that this guy got. I was like, man, I think I could probably do that. So got into real estate, failed forward, tried to figure it out, paid everybody in the industry as much money as you can imagine to figure it out, learning from the others, learning from other people in the industry. Fortunate enough to be figured it out. Was number 2 in the world for Coldwell Banker for a number of years, sold 500 plus homes a year for multiple years in a row. And then I realized that, every month it's the clock started over. You got to do it again. I sell 50 homes this month. I got to do it again on the first. And, you start looking for a better way, right? You're busier. You don't have your weekends. You don't have your evenings. And I just knew there had to be a better way, right? And so pursued that for a number of years. Started coaching and training agents since 2006. Me and Michael Reese started a company helping agents to try to build a profitable business, because if we felt like nobody was teaching agents how to do that. And we just wanted to go to the lake. I mean, that's all we really wanted, was like, why is this business, the more successful we get, the harder it seems to be, right? Like the less time you get to spend with your family, the less time you get, to go to the lake. And that, so we were dead set on, helping other people do what we wanted, which was more time freedom, right? And this opportunity was just an incredible, we understood it, because we understood what all the work that we had been doing up to that point was leading us down a path that was not getting us any more free. And all we wanted was freedom, and we were dang sure going to figure out a way to get it. But we didn't, we'd never seen a model like eXp. And to be honest with you, I think most people don't look at the opportunity because they think, and it's the analogy that Mike uses, I love, which is we're all like fish. We understand everything that's below the surface of the water and nothing above the surface of the water, because that's not in the environment we've ever been in. And at whatever point you are in your life, if you don't understand what's above you, you got to get around people that have been up above where you're at, so they can pull you up to the top, and you can see things that you don't see. And otherwise it's just grind. And this opportunity was something that we couldn't unsee it. Once we saw the leverage in this business model, the ability and the alignment, the financial alignment for us to help others, it's aligned to our core values. We just wanted, this was a place where we could add more value to more people's lives and do it without people having to compensate us directly. What better place could you possibly be?
Jay, I'm going to ask you a quick question. I remember the first time that we met. It was at a large event, a large eXp event.
Yep.
We got a chance to talk and chat, and you had said that made a major impact in joining. Can you tell the people how important attending the major events are for the growth of not only them personally, but of their rev share team? What really that can do, the power of that?
Yeah, it has been the catalyst for all of the best people and the best relationships that we have eventually coming to eXp. And I think that the reason why, to like to unpack, like what's the principle behind this, is like when you're trying to tell someone about this business model, there's resistance because you're selling. And the best thing you can do is just put them in touch with people. I can't remember who it was, Rob, that ran into you. I can't remember who it was. You might remember, but somebody that we brought, I think it was Gil. It was Gil Ramos. And Gil was like, he was just, he came to one of the events, and he was a sharp cat, really sharp cat. And, but he's wandering around and he's asking people questions and just getting other people's perspective, because he'd been hearing it from us forever. And he bumped into you and he asked you, hey, well, tell me about this eXp thing. And so you were humble and just answered his questions. And I think it eventually came out, how many people you'd recruited and how much revenue share that equated to and all that. And he was like, holy smokes, this is unbelievable. Like, he just couldn't believe it. It was like, people just don't believe it's real until you bump into enough people that you like, hey, these people are all really smart, intelligent business people, and they're all here doing this, and they're all telling you the same thing, right? It's like you can't recreate that in your local market. But when you get someone away from their business, where they're not just stuck doing it, thinking that this is the only way to do it, and then you introduce them to a lot of people that have had success in this model, you couldn't create a better environment for helping people to get there faster mentally, right? And so the best, the tallest trees have the deepest roots. You got to get them to events, and they have to spend time with other people and see in order to get them to get them over the top. It's the number one thing that you could do, outside, like the day-to-day, get them on, edify someone in your upline, get them on a call. I mean, there's nothing better to do than that. Don't try to sell them. We make that, eXp breath, right? Don't try to sell them. Don't make that mistake. leverage your upline, edify someone else, get them on a call with somebody. That's the process. If you follow that process, you will have success. And if you're not having success, it's because you're not following the process. All right. So, yeah, it's fun. It's incredible. It's nuts. I don't know that I think I answered your question about 10 others maybe, but, Brent, but, yeah, I mean, it's great.
I want to dig a little bit deeper with you, Jay, and I'd like Pat to answer this when you're done too. When you say once you see it, you can't unsee it, what did you see?
I understood. I didn't understand the opportunity. To be honest, I had a really good friend of mine and client of ours that sent me the model. And 6 months prior to that, a guy I didn't know came up to me at an OU Ohio State game, the year that was the year before Baker. And we lost that game, unfortunately, but it was at OU. And this guy comes up to me, and my old mortgage partner introduced me to him. And I thought he was introducing him to me as a potential coaching client. But this guy wouldn't shut up talking about eXp and the stock he's getting, showing it to me on his phone. Like I was like, this guy was smart. He would shut up and ask me a question, but he never did. But I walked away from the conversation going, man, there's something about stock, right? Like this guy was a raving fan of this company. And so my takeaway in the moment at surface level, I was like, ownership's a big deal. We should incorporate that into what we're doing. I was thinking, well, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to join this company. It wasn't even a thought across my mind. I didn't even look at it. I should have. Then the second time, it was Chris Waters, who's a good friend of mine, number one agent in Austin, Texas. He was a coaching client of ours. He came to us doing 30 deals when we met. He was doing 30 transactions. Now I don't know how many he does now. It's like probably 800. But he's a smart guy. And he said, hey, man, what y'all are doing looks kind of similar to this. You should look at it. So I did. I watched the webinar, and it was a recording. Rob was on it. Y'all don't even know this story. Like I don't really talk about it that much, but I watched the whole thing. I was on a flight, and the timing just wasn't right. It just wasn't the right time. It just wasn't. But I looked at them, I was like, this is brilliant. I showed it to our CFO at the time, and I'm like, this is the model. Like, this is brilliant. Then we just went back to doing what we were doing, right? I thought I understood it. But it wasn't until Al Stasic told me to poke holes in it because he was going to move in this direction. And it wasn't until I was looking at it, not for me, but for him, and trying to poke holes in it, because that's what he asked me to do. I was like, all right, for you, I'm gonna dig a little deeper and pay more attention. I'm not multitasking. I'm gonna listen. And I watched the whole thing. I'm like, oh, be darn, this thing is pretty brilliant. Like, this might be the best thing I've ever seen. And I started thinking about it for myself. I'm like, you know what? What if this is what it is? Like, what if it's just a better way to do what we're doing now? And I started really trying to think about, okay, all right, I need to go to this event. I was supposed to go with Mike Reese to do this mountain climb. I was glad to get out of that. It was my 40th birthday. And I was supposed to go do this. It was an Mount Everest challenge where you climb this mountain in Vermont like 15 or 20 times or something like that until you basically climb the equivalent of Mount Everest. And I bailed, and I came to that eXp con where I met you, Rob. And if I hadn't done that, I'm afraid of where I might be today. I mean, you want to talk about being, in a worse place? I mean, it's a blessing, and that's when I said once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once I really understood the business model and the opportunity it created, yeah, I could have kept doing what I was doing. I mean, it was working. We were successful. It was way harder. There's no leverage in it, and once I saw it, I mean, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I knew it had to happen. And so then we started moving in the direction of making the jump. But yeah, it was crazy coming to that event, man. I remember sitting in the room and I felt that energy, right? I felt it. I was like, I felt this before, but not like this. And then I look around the room and I see Brent Gove's there, Cliff Freeman's there, Gene Frederick. I see all y'all, and I'm like, this is the future. And yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate for all you guys that paved the way. Fortunate for Glenn for being daggum brilliant and thinking of this business model, and just happy to be here.
That's beautiful. And Pat, I've heard you tell that story a million times what you saw, but I'd love for everybody else to hear it because I know there's a backstory too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, first off, I just want to say, big decisions are made at the events. Big decisions are made at the events. And I want to share a funny story. I know Brent Gove's going to laugh at this one. eXpCon in San Antonio in 2016. I didn't know who Brent Gove was, right? I didn't know who he was. I had been in the industry just for a few years, and I ended up meeting him, but not really knowing who he was, right? And then whenever I found out that he was such a big deal in our company, I sent him a text message, hey, can't wait to meet you one day. Well, he sends me a screenshot of us at eXpCon together, like giving each other big old bear hugs. And he's like, we already met. So that was funny though. But what I tell agents is I say, there's a lot of great companies out there. There's Remax, KW, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Cooper Sotheby's, the boutiques, whatever it is, all great companies out there. But where can you truly, truly, truly go and sell real estate and build true wealth as a realtor and start creating another passive income stream? So whenever I saw this model 53 months ago from you guys at that coffee shop, what really hit me was the revenue share. I said, so, I can really come over here to eXp, keep on selling real estate, start acquiring wealth with the stock since we're a publicly traded company. But now I can share this model with other agents all across the country and start building a passive income stream that can be huge, right? And so whenever I was at that boutique brokerage firm, I was their first agent and their number one agent at that boutique brokerage firm. And I helped them get their office to 65 agents in 2 years. All I got compensated was Starbucks gift cards. I love coffee, but I love revenue share checks a lot more than coffee. And so I see this model as it's a game changer. It's a disruptor. Whenever I met Gene that day at the coffee shop, he said, go Google disruptive technology. That's what we are. We are disrupting the real estate brokerage space with our model. And hands down, we are growing like crazy. Whenever I joined the organization, Scott, we had 5 agents in San Antonio. Now we have over 850 agents in San Antonio alone. And then whenever I joined the organization, there was 805 agents. I'm actually agent 806. And now we have over 28,000 agents all across the country, going international, just opened up Australia, the UK, and whenever we were at that leadership event that Brent Gove and Rob Flick and Scott Lewis threw there in Vegas in August, Glenn Sanford got up on stage and said, hey guys, we're getting ready to celebrate our 10th anniversary in October. So this was last year. He said, I'm a firm believer in 10 more years, we're going to be at 400,000 plus agents doing business in 40 plus countries. Wow. I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I'm so thankful for you guys. This is unbelievable. I'm having the time of my life. We are having so much fun, and it's just a blessing. It really is. I got a life-changing phone call from you, Scott. Now I'm able to reciprocate that and give other agents life-changing phone calls to change their life, to better their career, to sell more real estate, to create wealth, true generational wealth with this company. I've never seen anything like this.
That's so cool. Hey, Jay, that's beautiful. Jay, I want to ask you a question. You've only been, it hasn't been 55 or 56 months. You've only been here for like 2 years.
30 months.
What?
30 months.
We count the months, right?
I didn't even do that with my children. I used to, I couldn't have told you what month my children were, but I know what month I was here at eXp.
So, a lot of people have been building teams for the last 30 months. Most people build teams. A few build independent brokerages. Some bought a franchise and they've been building that franchise. Sotheby's, Christie's, Remax, Keller Williams, whatever, Coldwell Banker for 30 months. How many states are you in? 10, 20 states? How many are you in Canada? What does your growth look like in just a short 2 years and 6 months, 30 months, as you say? What does that look like? And then what would you say to people who are going, yeah, I should partner with eXp, keep my brand? What would you say to people to do that deeper dive?
Yeah, I had a mentor that used to we called him HOA, Harold's old ass. He was brilliant. He was very expensive, smart, really brilliant guy. But he used to always say one thing. Every conversation started with "do the math." Let's do the math. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. And so it stuck. After hearing it a million times, I start every conversation now with "let's do the math." And if you do the math. And that's hard for a lot of independent brokerages sometimes to get their head around. And most of the time, if they don't have good guidance from somebody to help them do the math properly, because they're usually not seeing it correctly, and they think they're going to lose money. And in almost every situation, it's not the case. In almost every situation, they actually would be making more almost right out of the gate, if not immediately, with the move over to eXp. So I think that's the key is do the math. It's time for you to sit down and look at this and do the math. If you don't, regardless of what you think, this is just a platform that's going to solve your biggest problems, especially if you're an independent. If you're an agent and you want to sell more real estate, I can tell you this. There's more agents here at eXp that are advised to help you sell more, you can model their success and they'll be willing to help you. There's no question if you sell real estate and you want to do more, that you should be at eXp. Hands down, there's no way that you can show me any math that's going to show any different. That's a no-brainer if you want to build a business. If you own a brokerage, and brokerage, broke is the key word here, I know what your problems are because I have them. So it's recruiting, it's retention, it's trying to keep up with technology, all that. What if you had a platform you could lay everything on and you could continue to build your own brand, and it just helps you grow it bigger and faster than you could do it on your own? What if you had that opportunity? That's what this is. And so people just don't understand that. And you got to slow down enough to look at it and ask, how would I make this work if I was going to? How would I make it work? And then you start to see, okay, all right, that's how this would work. Oh, this is how my agents would be. Like they need to slow down and take a look at and ask questions until you get on the phone with somebody that can help you see how the structure of it would work if you're going to move over. And for everybody that's listening, that's already eXp, that's who I'm talking to. Have these conversations and get them on the phone with someone that can help them. The executives of this company are jumping on calls. It's unbelievable how much support we have and helping people see this opportunity. Don't try to do it all yourself. Leverage the people that you have in your group, in your upline, that will help you, and they'll help get those people to the finish line. I think we over entrepreneur things. We're always thinking like, oh, I'm going to do it myself and da da da. No, leverage your people that you have that can help you with bringing these people on, as opposed to trying to do it all yourself, especially if you got people on the fence right now.
And what have you built in the last 30 months for people that have been doing their model and what it's given them? What does it look like for you?
I just got off the phone this morning with a C21 recruiter, hired recruiter. And embarrassingly, she has out recruited me in the 2 years she's been where she's at by double. And so I've recruited 62 agents. She recruited over like 130 at Century 21. She's making, not getting, the compensation model is a lot different there. Right. And so I showed her what 62 agents turned into 3,250 as of today, 3,250, which is just mind boggling to think about. Right. Yeah. And we're not talking about math, but imagine what if I just made $100 off each one of those? What if they all closed one deal this month and I made $100? Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Pretty cool, wouldn't it? So I'll let you think about that for a second. But that's leverage, folks. And it's compounding leverage, and I ain't never seen anything like it in my life, ever. Compounding leverage.
How many states you in? You up in Canada?
There's only 2 states that I'm not in right now, and I'm working on that. Actually, this was like the 2 gaps that I got to cover, and then I think we're in most 4 or 5 provinces in Canada. Canada's exploding right now. It's unreal up there. Everybody seems to get it in Canada right now. It reminds me of when you guys were y'all went through the hard times. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard. What y'all did was hard. It's been easy for the rest of us. We're lucky that y'all came. Like, I joined at the perfect time. There was no real problems, right? Y'all solved all of the major issues, in trying to scale a company. So I don't know because I wasn't there, but I feel like I know what y'all went through. And it feels like Canada's just about to take off, just like the United States did. It's pretty awesome what's happening right now, and people just get it, man. If you're smart, you get it. If you're not smart, you don't get it.
And also, Jay, real quick, I want to hit on real quick.
Just getting started, and some people say, well, I missed the opportunity. Jay got in 3 years ago, Pat got in 4 years ago. You guys were lucky. You got in the beginning. Like you said, they really have no clue.
Right.
Like, I look at it right now and go, time has never been better than right now. I mean, imagine when we're in 40 countries, Tom Trong. Imagine when Asia opens up, and we're blowing up in Asia and South America, and now you have enough people in your network already scattered across the country. They're all connected with all these different countries, and imagine the compounding. I can only imagine what that's going to feel like when that happens, but it's exciting. Gino, I want to go back to you real quick, and maybe you have some more questions for Jay or Pat, but you were the godfather to us. I mean, you saw this, you had 7 franchises that you sold, and I know you say all the time, you saw this, or you wouldn't have done it. You believed this was going to happen. Do you still think eXp has a chance to have 500,000 agents around the world?
Well, here's what happened, Jay. I'm so excited that you said this. 4 years ago, just 4 years, I think everybody on this call could think in 4 years. Think to yourself, everybody on this call, what's my life going to be 4 years from now? 4 years is not that long. I'm hoping we're all still around.
Yep.
Rob will be up to 150 push-ups every, 2 hours. I don't know what he's going to do. But here's what I want you to think. 4 years ago, guys, this is my 5-year anniversary yesterday. I looked it up. 4 years ago, we had 1,100 agents in the company. We're now adding 1,100 agents every 2 weeks. Now, you're right, Jay. I was the only person excited, and Rob was too, and Scott, that we got to 1,100 in my first year. We went from 400 to 1,100. I'm pumped. See, most people didn't see it. What Rob and I did, and Scott and Pat, we went, and then I go to the next convention, there's Brent Gove. And we have 1,500 agents, and I literally walked into the board meeting. Scott, you've heard me say. And I said, our company changed today. And they go, what happened? I said, Brent Gove just joined. And they had no idea who Brent Gove was. A year later goes by, 2017. I walk into the board meeting. What do I say? Our life just changed. Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, and Al Stasic just joined. And they go, what do you mean? I go, you guys don't understand what's going on. See, I know you guys. I love looking at this board today. Pat, I didn't know because he only been in the business 2 years.
Yeah.
But I knew what Rob could do. I knew what Scott could do. And by gosh, I knew what Brent and Jay could do for the industry. Now, guess what? We're adding a Jay and Brent about every 3 months now.
Yeah, baby.
No, really, aren't we? I mean, right
Yeah, at
now,
least.
seriously.
Every 2 weeks.
Right.
Every 2 weeks, it's kind of like I went, wait, I'm talking to the number 2 Century 21 agent, God knows, in the world, right? I'm talking this is my last week. This is my last week. I'm talking to the number 1. Here's what I'm going to think, Scott, and I personally believe this after seeing what's happening to our industry. I hate that it's a virus. But it's caused every single broker in the United States to go, how am I going to go virtual?
Yep.
Every broker in America is sitting back right now. They are. They're sitting back going, how can I go virtual? And guess what? We own streaming video. It's called Verbella. We've been using it. We know how to use it. So here's the thing. Everybody else is going to have to go get their own streaming video, where they might as well hop on now. And if you guys know, 60% of America, Jay, 60% of America are independent brokers. I feel like that Jerry Maguire. Do you guys not feel like the inner Jerry Maguire half the life?
Yeah.
Let me help you. Please let me help you. It's kind of like, guys, call us. We'll show you the model. I am on the phone all day long with brokers now. Scott, we used to not like to want to talk to brokers because 4 years ago, they thought when times are good, guys, times are good. When times are good, times are good. Nobody ever looks at a change. Right now, 5 years from now, mark my words, put it down on this, we can can this puppy. Because 5 years from now, if you have a company and you're not going virtual, you don't have a virtual flatline like Verbella, you will be a museum in the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And we're going to come by and look at what your real estate office used to look like.
Amen.
It's funny. It's funny when I was looking at this opportunity, and I'm an eternal optimist. So I believe in what I was doing, right? Like I believed we were going to continue to have success. I remember I ordered when it was time to do the math, and I said, "What are we building?" Independent brokers, right? So we're in multiple states already, feeling all the pain. I mean, all the pain. It was so hard, and I ordered from Steve Murray from Real Trends. He has a pamphlet on brokerages and what. And so I was like, well, what are we doing here? Like, what are we going to spend the next 10 years building? What's it going to be worth? And when I saw the truth of what I was building and what I was banking on, it was worth 1.5 times EBITDA, meaning it's worth 1.5 years of profit. And they're going to ask me to stay on for 2 years. Basically, they're going to pay me with my own money. There's just no value in trying to build your own brokerage. There's no exit strategy. It's all ego.
The exit strategy now is a whole lot better than it was when you had your own.
Not 10x. I'm talking 1,000x. I mean 1,000x better. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. Period. It's it's incredibly different here at eXp. What's been provided, the opportunity. And I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but I can't remember who posted it. There was a post from a long time ago. Glenn had posted in the very beginning, and probably in the first few years or whatever. He said, we're going to make this opportunity big enough that the right people are going to join this company and help us build it. And I didn't see that until I was already with the company a couple of years, but I was like, man, how dadgum smart was that? Like, make the opportunity big enough that the right people will come join you. And that's what this is. That's why we're all here. It's a brilliant business model.
Yeah, I love what you just said, Jay. You said it's not 10x, it's 1,000x. So if you're out there somewhere in North America, US or Canada, maybe you're watching this in Australia, the UK, and you're like, what? It's because you haven't done the math. You haven't done the research, looked at the data. If you don't understand that statement, you need to do more homework, more of a deeper dive, because it's for real. And it's the most incredible thing. When you can't sleep at night, you get eXp insomnia, and you wake up at 5 a.m. bouncing out of bed because you are like excited. You want to share it with the world, and everyone thinks you're crazy, like they thought Henry Ford was, and Thomas Edison with all the light bulb experiments, and Martin Luther King, and Winston Churchill, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs. They all thought they were crazy. Elon Musk built a rocket, SpaceX. Yeah, right. Well, what's he doing? And so you look at the math, look at the model, look at the science, do the math like Jay said. Do your homework. If you don't get this, you're missing something. Don't just get distracted by another shiny object. Do the math.
Right. Well, I've found that the success we've had is so astounding that I literally cannot tell people what we think. I can't tell them our story because my story is so unbelievable. So I have to talk to and lean on the people in the organization that are the up and comers, that have stories that are just like these two here. You know, Jay and Pat, their story still is pretty phenomenal. There's no question. But I have found that there are people that are making an extra $1,500, $1,700, $2,000, $2,500, $1,100 a month in rev share. They haven't done big things like what we have, but they've had life-changing experiences. The stories I've heard where they've been able to retire their mom or dad, or where they've been able to pay their kids' college now, or now it pays their house is paid off, because now it covers their mortgage. They don't have to worry about that. Single moms who are putting this together, you know, have an income stream over and above what they're personally doing, because they're working for five. You know, they have no choices. Their bridges have been burned. They've got them. I'm finding that the story is incredible, and the truth is enough that if I try and tell them what I've had happen to me and Jen, it's hard for some people to even appreciate or imagine that could even happen. You know what I mean? So I that's why I appreciate Jay and Pat coming on and being able to talk, and having some other people that are, I almost want to say, more relatable, because you guys are superstars and you're up and coming, and nothing's going to slow you down. You guys are going to succeed wherever you are. But there are people that I believe that we probably should have on, a slew of them, that are just normal, average, if you want to say, people that are out there day to day, that their lives have been changed in a big way.
Yep.
I don't know if that says anything, but that's like a message I wanted to say for a while.
Here's what I'll follow that up, and then I'll give it to Pat.
Okay.
Is after this pandemic goes over, that's when the stories about eXp are going to come out.
Yep.
There's going to be people that haven't been able to sell in their state because they're not essential, which drives me crazy. I mean, wait, shelter is not essential? You know, there's literally been people that couldn't sell homes for a couple months that are going to come out a few months ago and say, thank you. The stock that I got in eXp helped me cover my expenses, or my revenue share. The income streams I've gotten, there's going to be stories 6 months from now. Those stories won't be at the other companies, because those income streams don't exist. Right, Pat? In other words, you have people underneath you that it's changed their lives.
Absolutely. And you guys have all changed my life. And to Rob, to touch on what you were saying about, the revenue share, it's life changing. It really is. And to retire your wife, I was able to do that. And I remember we sat down in 2018 in January, whenever Angel came to me and said, hey, I want to get out of corporate America after 13 years, physical therapist, double master's degree, running 13 physical therapist locations in San Antonio, managing 80 plus physical therapists in San Antonio, making great money. She was burnt out. She was burnt out of the corporate America hamster wheel. And she came to me and said, hey, you know what? Your revenue share is exploding. Let's set a goal, a huge, crazy, hairy, audacious goal, like Brent Gove always says, and let's make it happen. Let's get me and retire me out of corporate America. And 6 months later, we were able to do that and retire Angel out of corporate America because of the revenue share. And I couldn't have done that anywhere else other than eXp because of the revenue share. So thank you guys.
And we love those stories. And guys, what we would ask, if anyone has a story like that, we would love for you to post it on our page there that we were built for this live, or built for this live that you're on right now. Let's share those stories so we can use those testimonials. There's so many of them now, so if you guys are listening, please, in the chat down below the feed and Facebook, just start posting them there. We love hearing the stories, but we want everyone to hear them. I know, you guys are getting all kinds of, people calling you saying, thank you. But we want the world to see those. So please post those below. Guys, it's been great. I do have one announcement. The one that we did last week with Dave Steck, we had to pull it down because of some compliance issues. It is now back up and online and on the page. So anyone that missed that, you can find that in the feed. Was that not incredible? He gave great information. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have Mark Victor Hansen on here, Chicken Soup for the Soul. That's going to be incredible. Thanks, guys, for being here today. Jay, Pat, love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully, we all get together soon and have another ping pong tournament.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.